So today is the 16th, I believe, and we had a pretty good ice storm last night. I would have recorded some footage yesterday, except it didn't really set in until it was dark outside. But basically it sounded like a war zone. It was raining and then it would freeze on top of everything, and there were trees exploding and falling all over the place. You can see, actually there's, right there, that has fallen out of something. And then you can see this tree here split, and that's laying on the ground up there. It's snowing now. We've not had electricity since about 1800 hours yesterday, but we've got kerosene heat and we've got UPS batteries to power certain things. We've got batteries in our police scanner. I've got a battery pack running the CB radio so I can keep in touch with Mom down at her house in the event that she needs something. I'm gonna let this heat up and thaw out for a while, but I'm gonna let the car thaw out and we're gonna walk around, drive around, and see what all has happened overnight. One thing I was a little worried about was that fiberglass CB antenna would get a bunch of ice on it and bust, but it looks like it's okay. It don't look like it's bothered it. Well, since we can't boil water because our stoves are all electric, I guess it gets hot enough to make tea anyway. So right now, living room's kind of a mess because we got everything everywhere, but we ran lamps off that UPS for a while last night, but that one died on us. So I'm gonna have to take, Mom's got a generator. I may see if I can borrow it for a while just to recharge these, because it ran a lot for several hours. And I've got my CB radio running off of this because AT&T's battery must be shot, because the last time the power went out, the towers lasted for about 4 hours. But as you can see here, about 20 minutes after the power went off, that's what we got. So we have no cell service, we have no Wi-Fi. The internet lasted for about an hour and 15 minutes until the UPS died. And when the UPS that runs the server and everything died, it all shut down. There went the internet. I took a battery down to Mom's house and hooked it to her CB radio, but apparently the battery I gave her is shot, so we got to go rig something else up for her CB so that if she needs something, she has a way to get in touch with me, because we got no cell phone. And I just noticed there's another one right there. Limbs and trees were falling all night long. Now that's new. That's come out of one of these trees right here somewhere or another. That's fresh. Now that is a large unit. God. Now this one we cut years ago, but this one, gee, it's hit this one, took out every limb on this side. God, that root ball is taller than me. That is a large tree to have come down. And that's why, another reason, me and Dad, when we moved this one in when we were kids, I need to come back and cut a bunch of this little brushy stuff before it gets big. But we cut every tree up here that could have hit the house if it were to fall. Because, look at that. That's a good, reasonably straight, strong tree, large root ball. But you coat the whole dang thing in ice, and there ain't no guaranteeing nothing. Let's walk down through here, see if any more fell. Didn't damage the house, don't look like. It just, they brushed it as they come down. Didn't even hurt the little fence I put up for shadow. At least Dad's cemetery is okay. Nothing fell on it. There's some limbs here. None of the pine trees fell on Tim. And that's what used to be our storage building until big car-sized pieces of it started falling off of it, and we quit putting anything of value under there. Now this is new. Yeah, you can see just bent this little tree over here. It's laying on it. This one's not a priority. There you go. Yeah, like I said, it's on the property line. It's not touching anything. It's not even really blocking the creek. So I'm not going to worry about this one right away. I need to get the one by Mom's house first, but I do need to get it because you can see the top of it is, if the creek was to raise a little bit, it would be blocking it, so. You can always trust Lurch to clean all the sticks out of the yard for me. A random question. Does that generator that's frozen in the back of your truck, does it have a 220 volt output side?
Yeah, it's got a big old plug there that came, well, he gave me a plug to plug in it. It's like to plug RVs into.
Well, the reason I ask is if his power don't come back on, I could go kill the breaker to the pump so it's not connected to the mains, and then wire the pump up to that generator and let it repressurize the tank so we keep water pressure if we need to. I was just listening to the weather radio on the scanner, and we have another mass of Arctic air swinging in, freezing temperatures and everything, so trees are going to continue to come down. Basically, it's not going to stop, like it's not over with. We were wondering if that would get hot enough for chili in a Dutch oven, but yeah,
nice.
It does.
Okay, I'm going to pull it off and let it cool down a little bit.
Here is a special weather statement for the following counties in Kentucky. Hazardous winter travel today. An Arctic air mass is moving into eastern Kentucky today behind yesterday's winter storm. Heavy ice accumulations and the freezing of any remaining moisture or melted precipitation will lead to slippery travel conditions today across much of the forecast area.
Alright, so everything's plugged in charging right now, so I'm going to turn the camera off and plug it into the USB port so it can be charging. And we'll get on down the road, see what we can figure out, and make sure we've got enough to do us. Like I said, we've got enough now where we'd be okay for a few days, but you know, that kerosene don't last forever. And so I just want to make sure that we go ahead and just top off the jug while we've got it, while stations are open, because it don't sound like the weather's going to get any better anytime soon. Oh yeah, we got no power at this light either. So let's just look both ways. Nobody ain't coming. Head on. But well, here they got something going on here at the high school. I guess they're coordinating new poles and whatnot. Oh, Lurch. Did your rope get froze solid? Hello there, Lurch. So we've got here 3,300 watt continuous little generator. It won't quite run the whole house. I could run a double-ended cord. Just take two heavy gauge extension cords, cut them in two, and put the male in on both ends. Flip a breaker in there. Plug one into here and one in the house, and run like a whole sub-circuit or breaker in the house. So let's try that. Hell, we might even get internet back. Alrighty, so because what we're going to do is, like I said, I'm going to make a cord that's male on both ends, and that way one end will plug into the generator and then the other one will plug into an outlet in the house, and then we flip the breaker to that outlet so that they're not connected. The generator isn't on the circuit at the same time as the mains, and basically everything on that breaker will get powered by that. And so this one we're going to run the kitchen for like the fridge and whatnot. So I'm just going to cut that and that, and that gives us, may wrap some tape around those just for the heck of it, but that gives us a double male extension cord. One double, that's furnace, and then the very next single right under it should be that one. And we have power! Woo! At least there, anyway. And we need some water to flush the toilet, and we don't want to waste water pressure from the well, because we may need that for drinking water or cooking water. So that looks slightly fine for flushing water. Alrighty, so let's see here. There's the Minecraft server, both instances up and running just fine. There's Plex working just fine. So yeah, no mains power, but we got it up and working. We are running the CB radio and the scanner off of the generator as well, just to make sure that I'm not using batteries unnecessarily, because if they ain't got power on in a few days, I'm going to run out of gasoline on the generator and we'll have to go back to the batteries anyway. So I'm using this opportunity to charge all of my upses. And so the upside to having everything running off of these ups is not only do they clean up that AC power coming in from the generator, but when the generator runs out of fuel and I shut it off for a few minutes to let it cool off and fill it back up, we've still got lights for a little while and time to transition everything over if we need to, and shut things down if we need to. Alright, so I'm going to run out and run some errands, pick up a few grocery items and this, that, and the other. Mom went out earlier this morning and some of the stations had power back, so I had her while she was out refill us on kerosene, because they'll probably, what they have probably won't last long, and we were down to like our last day's worth of kerosene for heat. Oh, are you thirsty, Lurch? One of the good things about owning your own property, you know, a big enough piece of property to be useful, like this stream just starts up there and it's all just runoff and groundwater that seeps out of these hillsides. There's nothing up there except just nature. So I'm going to see if I can't find a cord for that to provide the 230 volts, and then see if I can't rig something up to run the well down here, because that would give us pressurized running water in the house again. We've pretty well used our pressure up. We've got no running water now. Not because it's frozen, but the pressure's out. But no, it's weird, you know, because usually you think that, okay, well, the folks in the city have water. Apparently not. I talked to a guy in town and they have very little, if any, water pressure on the municipal water in town. And something happened to one of their pumps, so they've got no running water even in downtown. Alrighty, apparently AT&T went off the road up the other fork of the holler. I didn't get him on camera. I don't believe he would appreciate having his face on camera, but basically what happened was this. He's got a generator. He's trying to haul up the hill, I guess, to the cell tower, because we don't have any service up here right now. And he's got chains on his back tires. He touched the brakes to try to stop. The front end of the truck went over toward the creek on one side, and the generator is laying on its side in the ditch on the other side. So I've got to come along here, and I've got several chains laying over there. I'm not going to let him hook to my vehicle on a road as slick as it is and yank mine over in the creek too, but I will lend him a hand with some chains and a winch and whatnot, and see if we can't pull him, because he's not in the creek. He's just got one tire over the edge of the bank, so we may be able to yank him back up over onto the road. If we can do that, he'll be all right. There he is. Well, it looks like some other people got here to help him, so we'll see what happens. There's that big AT&T generator. Nope. I didn't think that would work. And there he goes. There he goes. Yep. Now, the second trick, just put one tire over the edge too. The road's too slick. He tried to pull him, but it didn't work. So I couldn't get a whole lot of footage of what was going on with the AT&T guy, but basically the other guy that got stuck, I managed to pull him out. But the AT&T guy, he tried to get out, and every time he moved, he went farther over the bank because he was far enough that, you know, it was pulling him over. And then eventually his rear end high centered on the blacktop, so he had no traction. So basically I tethered him to his own generator to try to keep him from slipping even more, and then I had to go run and do some errands, and then they had a local tow truck driver, Buck Master, come up, and I just met him on the way out, so Buck got him out. And but it's funny, he's ready to call it quits and go home. He's froze half to death. He said what they're probably going to do is put me with another guy in a different truck and send us out here with chainsaws and get her up and going. So I guess AT&T is all about get her done. But and we're supposed to get 4 more inches of snow tonight, so we'll see. Yeah, it is solid ice where the fresh snow that we got last night, the few people that have come out have just packed it right back down on top of the ice that was already there, so it's slicker and snot. But people have to come and go every now and then. Now look here. As soon as we get out of the holler and back onto the state road, look there! Perfectly clear. I just got this text said estimate for power on is 8 p.m. on the 21st. So we've got 10 gallons kerosene, 5, 10, 12 and a half gallons of gasoline for the generator. So if they really do get power back Sunday evening, that'll be 3 days from now, then we should have enough of all of this to last us until then without run another tree. I believe this should last us until then. So, in testing with my multimeter, I found out that on the 240 port, this one and this one are our 2 hots that will give me 240 volts at 20 amps, which is what the pump takes, so that we should be able to run the water pump. So where we need to tie in, so this is the 100 amp incoming from here, and then this is the 20 amp going out to the pump that's underground there. So we need to leave both of these off just in case some miracle happens, power comes back on while we're working. But I need to be tied in to this between it and the pump. So we just got to take these out just to make sure we're not live, and then I can just wire nut that to the wire coming out of that. And then we should be ready to rock and or roll. There we go. Cups are running. Let me see here. We got water. It'll be cold, but I'll get a shower. That'll get us enough water for the night if we want to wash our hands or something, as long as we're not crazy about it. So it's 7:19 on Friday, and I'm going to go on into work and see if they need anything, see if there's anything can be done. I've got the generator fueled up. I did put a little bit of oil in it, and got it running. Everything's going at the house well, so I'm going to leave them. I'm going to leave everything in the hands of my wife. And snow's starting to melt off a little bit, but I think she can handle it. I told her that if there's any problems, the generator starts making weird noises or whatever, he knows how to turn it off. So, see how the day goes. Well, he's up here to look at a bus that's got a tree laying on her, but gonna have to wait for these fellers to finish what they're doing, because we don't want to walk under them lines or anything while they're working on them. It's been 4 days now. We still got trees all over the place. So today is Saturday the 20th, day 5 of no power in eastern Kentucky, or at least where I'm at. So yesterday I made a trip with Mom to get a new generator for her. It's a larger unit. I think it's a 7,500 running watts, 12,000 peak, but it's made so that you wire it into the house permanently, and but it doesn't have any 110 output outlets on it. So we've got another one for her she can use right now to run items in her house, and that way, until the electricians can come out to wire the big one into the main service box for her house, she has something that she can use electricity with. So we're going to get some fuel to refill mine. We're going to get this other one set up for her, and I got an email that said we're supposed to have power back by 2000 tomorrow evening, but I think that's kind of optimistic given the fact that the nearest place that has power right now is still several miles from us. I think that's kind of optimistic. I don't believe we're going to see it tomorrow, but this is now officially the longest contiguous power outage that I've ever experienced, at least here. The previous record was 4 days, and we're up to 5 now. And even if they get it back on when they think they will, that's still looking at 6 days, and I don't think they're going to have it back on tomorrow evening. So, well, we're surviving. We're okay. We're warm. Helps if you read the labels. Alrighty, here goes the deep freeze. Alrighty, here comes the bridge on and up, and maybe electric heater. There's warm air, and I smell the dust burning. So I guess.
Let me find that remote.
Oh, yep, we got heat. We got heat. It's working. You're a good old boy, Shadow. You're a precious little feller. Yes, you is. Well, it only took them 5 days, but we finally got some cell phone service. Woo! We're moving up in the world. We're almost like a third world country now. Well, the darndest thing just happened. I was down here at Mom's because her UPS was beeping, and they do that. They don't really care for the power that comes out of these generators, so sometimes if there's a heavy load where it's not getting all the current that it would like to see to charge its batteries, they'll kick in and out sometimes. But I was down here to investigate that, and we heard something, and I hit a light switch and the power come back on. A day earlier than they said. Almost 24 hours early to be exact. It's 8:23 p.m. So I've already got everything switched back over to mains here, so we got to turn off generators, and I was planning on wiring the pump back up tomorrow, but I guess I'm doing it tonight. Hey, turn off the breaker to the hot water heater until I get the pump back on, because we don't need that water heater running with no water in it.
I know, I'm just getting in here down the highway. Let me know when you're down so I can flip it back on.
There we go. Alrighty, for this one, we go white on the bottom, and there's a good bite. Black goes on top. There we go. Alrighty, 100 amps on, 20 amps on, and I can hear the well running. Well, it only took them 5 days, but just over 5 days. But we finally got power back on, and so now I've got to transfer everything that was running on the generator back over to mains power. You can see here I've got 29 minutes left on that UPS, So I'm going to shut up and get to work. But I just wanted to document this little experience of the extended week-long power outage and coping and surviving with it in the ice storm Snowpocalypse 2021. So I'm glad that's over with, and so are the wife and kids, but I'm not really happy with how I did in preparing us for a situation like that. You know, we had resources, we had plenty of groceries, we had kerosene on hand because I keep kerosene on hand, and I'll burn some and then I'll go refill it, so we always have fresh kerosene. We had some gasoline on hand because we use it for the lawnmowers and things of that nature. But we weren't really prepared for that long of a period without electricity. You know, I should not have felt compelled to go drive on dangerous roads and hunt for kerosene and gasoline things to run the generator and the heater here at the house. We have way too many resources up on the mountains that we own to be running around looking for kerosene at gas stations that are closed because nothing in the entire town has electricity. So we've got an old cast iron stove that I grew up with, actually, that I want to go get. I want to build a room and put it in it, and then every year cut a couple of trees, maybe have a load of coal delivered, build a little coal house to keep it dry, and that'll give us a way to keep warm and a way to cook that does not require me to get up and run down the road every other day to refill the kerosene jugs, because it's not responsible and it's not setting my family up for success in the event of another extended power outage, because it's going to happen again. So I've got a list of things that I'm going to write down to better prepare us for the next time this happens, and hopefully by watching this video, my little documentary of our experience of this outage, maybe you'll pick up on some things that I did wrong, or maybe it'll spark a few questions in your mind, like if the power went out for 5 days in your town, how would you keep yourself warm? The city water here, the county water, was out for people that have county water. If your water supply wasn't working and you didn't have electricity, how would you take a bath? How would you get water to cook and drink with? These are all things that we should all consider. And look at Texas. They got hammered with a winter storm, and it's Texas. Texas doesn't get winter storms. It's Texas. But there's people that have died because of the winter storms in Texas. So it's things that don't happen often, but it's things that we all need to think about and be prepared for. And although I didn't do horrible, I know that I should have and could have done a whole lot better than I did. So I'm going to take steps to rectify my mistakes and maybe make some videos about it. If you guys liked this video, give it a thumbs up or a subscription. If you're on LBRY or Odyssey, consider giving me a tip. And I'll have other information in the description if you would like to donate to me in other ways. But as always, this is Marcus out. Y'all have a